BYU and UCF. And it is Chase Cruson at the plate. He grounded out his first time up. I'm not sure it can get closer than that play, Gary.
No, you really can't. And that saved not only one run, but that might have saved 2 runs. Like you say, Espinal made a major league play out there at second base.
Cruson down on the count, 0-2. They'll hold it up just a little bit while Tate Gamble corrals the ball and tosses it into the UCF bullpen. 0-2. Now Gubler looking for a little momentum after his guys put 2 runs on the board. Just misses. 1-2.
Well, Cruson's used to this cold weather. He grew up, his hometown is Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. And then he played briefly at Duke. And now he's here with UCF.
2-2. Jaden Harris and Wiley Hartley tomorrow. Garrison Sumner and Dom Stagliano on Saturday. Those are the pitchers we'll see. And the count is full. Over there to his teammates, talking to himself, getting back into the box. As mentioned, the first game outside of the Sunshine State for these Knights. That one was way outside. Gubler had him down 0-2 and lost him. Cruson gets the walk and heads to first.
That ball slipped out of his hands that time. Gubler, you can just see it as he let it go, it just slipped. Might have had a little wetness on it, but watch this release right here. Just slips out of his hand. And Goff makes an incredible catch to save it from going to the backstop.
Jimenez flew out his first time up. The leadoff man's on board here in the 4th in a 2-2 game. Big lead by Cruson over at first. And a foul ball.
Well, the BYU infielders have been putting the shift on for all the left-handed hitters for UCF. And this time there's a right-handed hitter, and there's the shift for BYU's infield. Everybody's on the left side of the infield there.
They love to do shifting. It's a pretty good defense. They'll throw back to first. Cruson in safely. Double doses the last one. Umpire right there on it.
Yeah, that's he got the last one right, and he probably got this one right.
2 down now for Dylan King. Strike 1. King hit a double his last time up. Strike 2. Dylan's dad, Brad, was drafted by the Cubs following his '96 season with UCF. Went on to play professional ball for 10 years. And anyone drafted by the Cubs gets mentioned on this broadcast. Brad, nice job. Robinson over to first. We go to the bottom of the 4th. All tied up at 2. It's the Big 12.
So hope we can manage to play through it.
Coach, you played 4 seasons for the Knights, and you led them to the NCAA championships in 3 of those, and you're doing it again like last year. So what's your formula? How do you get these guys coming to your place there?
Well, I think there's a lot of great things about UCF with the school, the city, and then the baseball program, where if you want to come be a great player and try to be a big leaguer and graduate from a great institution and do it in paradise right there in Orlando, it's a pretty good fit. And the simple thing is just play UCF baseball, pitch, defend, and find ways to score runs.
we're looking forward to seeing your guys throughout the series. How about that major league play by Eddie?
That was a heck of a play and a big moment, too. You don't know how that inning spirals out of control if he doesn't make that play.
Coming into this series, 94 runs in your last 7 games, and you pick up 2 quick here in the second. What's the key for you these next 3 days?
Oh, just continue to put together.
What'd you learn last year that'll help you this year?
Man, it's an elite baseball league from top to bottom, and you got a
great visit with him coming in. He's all baseball, and he's all UCF. Gary, as you mentioned, an alum, building a program, and they're going to be a contender in this league. Coming into Provo with a 13-3 record. But Herdsman's over at third, and Watkins is at the plate. BYU threatening to take their first lead of the game. Big swing by Watkins. Strike 1.
Well, you see the infielders are back early in this game here because they've got such a great offense. They're figuring they can come back, and they're going to, on a ground ball, they're going to allow the run to come in.
0-1 to Watkins. He shows bunt. Brock struck out his first time up. Tate Gamble is on deck. 2-2 with Bryker Herdsman, his first triple of the year. Has him standing on third base. Right to the glove of the third baseman. 1 down. Calise makes the snag.
Well, another great defensive play by UCF. Calise again robbed Watkins of what looked like a sure double down the line, and then look how quickly he dives to get the runner out of third, but Herdsman just gets back in there. But that was hit hard, and a great defensive play.
Tate Gamble had a bunt single his last time up, then came around to score. Let's see what Trent Pratt has up his sleeves here, and we'll visit with Coach Pratt a little bit later on. DH spot, kind of nursing a hamstring in this cool weather. They're just going to be careful with Bryker, who hit that triple and looked fine rounding the bases a moment ago. Goff looks at strike 1. 3 unanswered runs for BYU on 4 hits. A little more activity down south in the UCF bullpen. Outside, 1-1. Sosnowski from the stretch. Back to first. Gamble in safely.
Gamble has not attempted any stolen bases on the season yet. He's got good speed.
A whole lot, though, has he?
Well, he's only had 10 at bats prior to this game. He was 1 for 10, and now with that hit, he's raised his batting average by probably 100 points.
He's got a lot of speed. So he's just kept going, and there's 2 down. A heads up tag. Let's take another look. The throw by King.
Yep. That's a good call. He had the base stolen and he just slid too far.
1-1 the count to Goff. We've seen that a couple of times in this homestand. It takes so much energy to get to the bag, and then you're going to slam on the brakes. And we saw that a few times with Stetson. 2-2 to Goff. Little blooper right over to the shortstop. Jimenez makes the catch. BYU gets 1. They take the lead. The 5th inning's coming up here in Provo. 3-2 Cougars on ESPN+. So when you meet with your pitchers, what's the prep talk about?
Well, you pitch your game. They're a good team. Offensive numbers are good, but we start worrying about them, we're getting in trouble. You know, we're going to pitch how we pitch, and and make plays behind them.
All right, we'll let you get back on the job.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Trent Pratt in the BYU dugout. His Cougars up 3-2 with Ross leading off the 5th inning for UCF. And the count 1-1. Ross with a ground out and a fly out so far today. Defensive shift on again. Ball 2.
Yeah, what's interesting, the infield puts the shift on, but the outfield plays straight away.
Vest scoops it up. We talked about his defensive skills over there. 1 down.
Yeah, that ball was hit hard, and you can see how soft hands that Cooper Vest has over there at first baseman for BYU. Watch how this ball goes down. He keeps down on it, has a soft hand, and makes a good play.
It's almost like he had to look in his glove and go, did I get that? That thing was traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Well, he's saying, you know, UCF, you've made 2 incredible defensive plays, and one of them saved a run, another was a line drive. Yeah, we can do it too. So, you know, paying it back a little bit there.
Eddie and Espinal made that phenomenal play at second base. Saved a couple of runs. Count 1-1. 1 for 2 on the day for Espinal. And Rich Wallace saying he can do everything in the playbook. Such a versatile hitter. They check it down. They say he held his swing. 2-1. When the day began, he led the nation, hitting .524. You be the judge here, Gary.
Yeah, I think he held up. I think that was a good call.
2-1. Popped him up. Jones moves over and runs out of room. 2-2. With a lineup like this that UCF has, backed by the numbers that they've produced, it's almost like you're playing with fire every inning.
Yeah, there's no relaxing for a pitcher. Every batter up there's hitting between 300, 400, and 500.
Here's a 2-2. Misses the corner, and the count goes full.
Boy, that's a good pitch. That's a good 2-2 pitch right there.
3-2. Ball 4. A leadoff walk for the Knights. Well, there's 1 out. A 1-out walk for the Knights as Lex Bodecker comes to the plate. He struck out his last time up. Check, this is Andrew Williamson. Bodecker, we'll see him a bit later. A double and a walk today for Williamson. Espinal speedy over at first base. In for a strike. Well, Espinal .524, then you drop all the way down, Gary, to .407 with a 2-hitter.
Well, a .363 team batting average, that's unheard of.
Throw back to first. Yeah, that tops the country. Their bullpen has been tough at a 1.75 ERA through 72 innings. BYU's bullpen's been very good. Look back to second. No chance at a double play. They'll throw to first and get Prevesk out. Espinal moves to third. Williamson to second. Had the shift not been on, there was an opportunity on turning 2.
Yeah, absolutely, but that might have been up the middle. You don't know. That nice play, he loses balance a little bit there. Robinson comes up throwing. And so 2 runners in scoring position. They get that Prevesk out for the first time.
Here's Lex Bodecker. An RBI single and a strikeout. BYU took the lead in the bottom of the 4th. The Knights trying to take it back here in the 5th. Outside, ball 1.
You know, Bodecker had quite a game Tuesday. 4 for 6, drove in 6 runs.
Yeah.
Hard to have a better game than that.
Big guy. 6'1" frame. First base is open. This one's down the line and foul. 1-1 to count. There you see the BYU bullpen with a little activity.
And you got the shift on here again. You see Bodecker trying to hit it to the left side.
Center field. And waiting for it is Painter. And the Knights put 2 on and leave them there. Crowd giving the defense a bit of a lift. Bottom of the 5th coming up. The Cougars by 1 on ES.
I remember when I had season tickets to the Baltimore Orioles when I lived back east. And going there, there's just something special about going to opening day, just starting the baseball season. Here we are in the Big 12 opening day.
Each team with a bunch of non-conference games, a few more ahead of them. But these are the ones that matter the most. Strike 1 to Painter, count 1-1 as Chris Sosnowski pitches his way into the bottom of the 5th.
Our producer just chimed in, said this should be a national holiday for opening day. I like that.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. Painter with a couple of walks today. I think the Cubs and Dodgers are playing like in the middle of the night tomorrow or something over in Japan, and those games will actually count for the Major League Baseball season. And then they go back to spring training. 2-2 the count, and we're a couple of weeks away from Major League's opening day. Now that should be a national holiday.
Yes, it should be.
Here's a 2-2 to Painter. He's been tough to keep off the bags today. Ball 3.
There's that 78-mile-an-hour change curve, but just didn't get much break on it that time, Sosnowski.
3-2 pitch. Foul ball. Painter was just coming into his own last year when he pulled up lame running the bags at second base. And tremendous talent. And good to see him back and getting back into the groove of things. Hate to see kids getting hurt. Three-2.
To Painter that time. That was just a routine single. Almost. Yeah, it happened a couple innings ago at stolen base, but now you got catcher King coming out and talking to Sosnowski, and probably sent out by manager Wallace out there to give the bullpen a little bit of time to warm up.
And we're going to see a new pitcher. The move has been made, and so Chris Sosnowski not going to make it out of the 5th inning here in his 2nd ever start. And it's a 3-2 BYU lead as Sosnowski makes his egg. Say hello to Angelo Smith, 6-footer out of Coral Springs, Florida, junior. This is his 6th appearance. He has 1 start on the year, an ERA of 4.20. A couple of walks, 10 strikeouts. And when there's that kind of disparity, you get in games.
Absolutely. Well, he appeared in 15 games as a freshman, had an ERA of 6.16, 3-3 record, and then as a sophomore, he appeared in 17 games and started in 12 of them. So he's been a starter. He's coming in here to be like a long reliever. He's had good success and got a good fastball and a sharp breaking curve.
He inherits Painter at second base in a 3-2 game. And he faces Robinson, Easton Jones, and Luke Anderson. The top of the order for BYU with Painter on second as the leadoff man. Robinson has a strikeout and a sacrifice fly today, so he'll be the first one to test out Angelo Smith's right-handed arm. The Knights jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the 1st inning, and they haven't been able to do much since. Peyton Gubler's wiggled out of a couple of jams, and his offense has put 3 on the board. Ball 1 for Robinson.
And that first pitch by Smith was a fastball. It was 90 miles an hour. You can see he's got a little riding fastball, breaks away from left-handed hitters.
Big cut by Robinson, 1-1. Did you lay down a bunt here, Gary?
Well, I'll tell you, you got some good hitters coming behind you, but Calise is pretty close up. Great effort out there, but he got all the way to about 3 feet from getting out of this ballpark there at about the 375-foot mark.
I haven't seen a fielder pin the ball with their body up against the wall.
Right.
And then had he held on to it, what would they have made that?
No, he's safe. Once it hits the wall, it's safe.
And he's being attended to by the trainer. Let's take another look. So it misses his glove, and then he pins it up against the wall.
Yep.
That's probably what, you know, he'd have bruised a rib in that. Just missing the home run, but Robinson's over at third base. 4-2 BYU with Easton Jones at the plate and nobody out. Williamson's out there going, what just happened?
That was a great effort. Just a great effort.
Big swing. Strike one.
Well, Smith turned the heat up on that one. That was 95 miles an hour and just blew right past Jones.
That was a mad pitch.
Oh, Jones was way behind that one. And again, the infielders for Central Florida, first base corners up, first and third, and shortstop second back.
Jones shows bunt. Backs out 1-1. That came in high and inside.
Well, it's one thing we haven't seen much in Jones' career. Very few bunts has he been called on to do.
He's trying to do anything to get jump started here. A couple of strikeouts already today. Chance for an RBI. And he fouls it off. 1-2.
Boy, and Smith, again, 94 on the previous pitch, 94 there. He's really bringing it.
Infield comes in.
Yeah, here they come on 2 strikes.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And now there's 1 out for Luke Anderson.
That was just Smith just overpowered Easton Jones that time. Jones was behind it and could not catch up with that fastball. And you look at this location. Wow, very good pitch.
Now Anderson, who got hit by a pitch his last time up, comes to the plate with 1 out here in the 5th. 4-2 BYU. Fouled away down the right side and out of play. A double by Painter, a triple by Robinson here in the 5th. Inside. Cooper Vest is on deck for the Cougars.
Well, we've seen nothing but heat so far from Angelo Smith. And he's got a good heater, 94 miles an hour with good movement on it.
Outside, 2-1.
There's a breaking ball. That's 85 mile an hour changeup.
Anderson coming in on the day at 387. He's gotten really good at seeing the baseball and doesn't go after too many bad pitches. We'll see if his patience plays into his hand here.
Yeah, the only question about that was
center field. Ross backs up a little bit and pulls it in. But BYU strikes for 2. We go to the 6th, and the Cougars lead it 5-2 here on ESPN+. At the store when they got here. Gubler continues for BYU here in the top of the 6th inning. And the Cougars lead it 5-2 as Calise looks at ball 1. Gubler's pitch count at 87. In for a strike.
Well, he's still bringing it. That was 90 mile an hour on that last fastball.
Robinson over at shortstop. 1 down. 3 groundouts today for Calise so far.
Well, we've watched a number of games that Gubler has thrown this year, and he does induce a lot of ground balls.
Yeah. Cruzen is back up. A ground out and a walk today. He looks at a strike. Each team sitting on 6 hits. BYU's hits have been a little more meaningful with 5 runs. Strike 2.
Well, when you're up in that 90 pitch count area, the bullpen for BYU starts getting ready, but you can see Goobler still nibbling at the corners and a lot of velocity.
The Knights have left 6 runners on base. BYU has left 3. Neither team with an error.
Well, in a couple innings, that UCF had runners on first and third and second and third with 2 outs, and he just couldn't get the key hit.
Each team's had some really good defensive plays. Ground ball to Vest. Scoops it up, touches the bag. 2 down.
Well, another smooth glove over there for Cooper Vest, the first baseman. We mentioned earlier, he's got soft hands, and that ball was hit hard. He stayed right down with it. Once you get your glove down, you can always bring it up instead of stabbing at it. So get that glove down, then you can always bring it up.
Antonio Jimenez, 0 for 2 so far today. This is his 3rd shot at figuring Goobler out. Strike 1. Oh, you're right, Gary. He's throwing with some zip now.
Right, he's
that 94 pitch right there.
For most of the game, you know, the most important pitch is strike 1, and that's what Goobler's been able to do, get ahead of the UCF batters.
Strike 2.
That was 92 that time.
He's throwing faster.
Yeah, and he's not painting the outside corner right there. He's not bringing anything right down the middle. He's really pitching today.
Jimenez holds off on the curve, and it's 1 and 2.
Now that just changes the eye level a little bit. Didn't want to get that over, wanted to throw it a ball and just change the eye level. And his fastball, he's been kind of ahead of Jimenez tonight.
1-2 pitch. Ball 2.
You're throwing close to 95 pitches, and getting that last out, that last strike sometimes is the hardest.
And we'll do it again. Dancing Around Storms. Tomorrow we're at 5 Eastern. Saturday at 3 Eastern. Here on ESPN+. 2-2 pitch. Ball 3. And the count is full. Ball 4. That's a good at bat for Jimenez. Wins a walk after all that, heads down to first.
Well, we'll see if there's any motion coming out of the dugout there. That's the 95th pitch, and got ahead in the count and couldn't finish it. Fastball. Riding, nice job.
Dylan King, a double and a ground out today. He comes up for his 3rd shot at Goobler. Jimenez leading off at first base.
Well, we just saw Goobler get ahead again.
This one to center field. Back is Painter, just shy of the track, pulls it in. The Knights get 1 on and leave him there. Bottom of the 6th innings coming up here in Provo. BYU 5-2 here on ESPN+. Phillips 66 Big 12 Championships, the semifinal. It'll be BYU and Houston at 7 Eastern time on ESPN2 and ESPN+. That's Friday night in Kansas City, as Houston has just knocked off Colorado and BYU upset Iowa State earlier today. We'll call it an upset. BYU had the better seed, but Iowa State was ranked 12th, and the Cougars at 17. 2-0 to Herdsman. Big basketball weekend all over America, and then the big dance next week.
Oh, the March Madness, what's better than that? You know, I mean, that's just so fun. I have 2 TVs at home, and I watch 2 games at once.
2-1. The count. Well, the Big 12 is going to be represented very well in that field of 68. Look forward to the selection show on Sunday. Herdsman down the line and fair. He's got a triple. He's going to add a double to it. He'll trot into second, and that's how the Cougars lead off the bottom of the 6th.
Well, it's interesting. You'd mentioned he had a little leg injury at the start there. You watch how he kind of just jogged this one through. Great effort by third baseman Calise, but gets by him. But Herdsman was just kind of jogging out there from first to second with a little limp. So we'll have to follow that closely.
Well, that hamstring's been a thing. That's why he's not out in right field today. But he's all smiles with a double here in the 6th. And that'll bring up Watkins. And now the defense settles itself with Dylan King calling the shots. He gets back behind the plate. BYU looking for insurance here in the 6th with a lot of baseball ahead, but a 5-2 lead. Watkins a strikeout, and he lined out to third base. So Calise is over there for sure, anticipating another screamer coming his way. Well, King out calling the play for the defense.
Yeah, they're thinking, how do you cover on a bunt here? The last time Brock Watkins faked the bunt.
Yeah, if you bunt it down to third, where's Calise going? And is that bag wide open for Herdsman? Ball 1. Well, this time Calise stayed at the bag.
And Watkins was trying to push that one down the first base side.
Herdsman leading off at second. One-0 pitch. And strike. Watkins didn't commit to the bunt. Left the bat out there. It's 1-1. Tate Gamble is on deck. He's 2 for 2 so far today. Everybody stays put. 1 down.
Yeah, that bunt is sole board. Come charging in. Beautiful play.
Now Gamble steps in. Aren't pop-up bunts just the worst for a coach?
Well,
It's like fouling a three-point shooter.
It's the worst for the player. You know, first of all, you're asked to sacrifice, and you'd rather hit away, but you're asked to sacrifice. Then when you just bunt it to the pitcher, it's like, I just wasted an at-bat.
Now, bunting is a thing for Gamble. He has a bunt single already today, and he's got the speed to beat you to the bag. So we'll see what happens here, how UCF plays in game. He already showed a bunt and fouled it off. Swings away. Makes a catch, 2 down. And now that leadoff double not looking so ominous for Angelo Smith as there's 2 outs with Parker Goff coming to the plate.
Well, the ball hit that deep. Herdsman typically, with his speed, he would have taken off and easily been at third, but he's just kind of playing a little tenderly with that hamstring to play safe.
Goff with a single and a pop out. 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Strike. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Keone Painter on deck for the Cougars as the leadoff man. That one a little high, 1-1. Goff, shallow center. The Knights converge, and in to make the catch is Ross. Cougars get a leadoff double, but Herdsman stays put. On to the 7th we go in Provo. 5-2 BYU. Espinal and Williamson for UCF. Cougars with 5 runs on 7 hits. The Knights with 2 runs on 6 hits. And they've got to be as surprised as anybody, considering the last 7 games, as we've documented, they scored 94 runs. But on the road in the elements, it's a little bit different. Certainly for them. Here's Ross, who's 0 for 3 so far today. They came to town with the hottest batting average in the country.
And you notice with Reiser pitching, BYU's infielder don't put on the shift. They play pretty much straight away. They shade the shortstop a little bit towards second base, but they don't have the shift on.
Wind's picked up a little. And slaps a single, does Ross, into left field. And that's how the Knights start the 7th. And Edion Espinal, who's played a mean second base today. He's a switch hitter, so he moves to the right. Grew up 40 miles from campus. And chose UCF to get into the big leagues. So now he goes from the right side for the first time today. And Reiser back over to first.
Ross 3 for 4 stolen bases on the year.
Ball 1. Espinal has a ground out, a single, and a walk. Five to 2 for BYU. And they'll go back to first. Vest corrals it. All a lefty's got to do is get you to lean the wrong way, and you're DOA over there. 1-0. And a strike in there for Espinal, 1-1. In high, 2-1. Three and one. Big deep breath by Reiser. Williamson's on deck. Strike. And the count goes full. Espinal trying to sell that as ball 4. Might have been right. Another throw back to first. Look into Peyton Gubler. Counts full to Edion Espinal. Nobody out in the 7th. Ball 4. And they're at first and second with nobody out. A single and a walk, and that's how the Knights fire up the 7th inning.
Yeah, that was a big at bat that time for Edion Espinal to take it and earn that walk. First and second with nobody out here. And you got a guy, the number 2 hitter on the team, came in batting .407, Williamson, with 5 home runs.
Previsk behind him, and then Bodecker. It's the power alley for the Knights. Nobody out. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Got a 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Williamson was a little bit ahead of that one. BYU has the shift on right now to try to thwart Williamson from going through the right side.
Strike two.
Same pitch, 79 mile an hour, good break. Down in the count, and this pitch, he goes down to get it.
With Williamson, the tying run, out at second. A triple, a single, and a ground out for the senior out of Apopka, Florida. Shows bunt, looks at a strike. First error of the game for BYU. Bunt foul. Counts 0-2. Bodecker is on deck. Now Prevesk walks over and talks to his head coach. Sizing up the at-bat. Down to the count 0-2.
Coach is telling him just put it in play. You know, put it in play. Even if you grind out, get the runner to over to third.
The 0-2. Foul back. He stays alive. Just does catch the bat. Fouls it off. Here's the 0-2. 1-2. Nice effort there by Goff. He's had to work today behind that plate. Struggled with Kubler. They're not. And Abe Alvarez about the Knights, their ability to score, their ability to hit. And those timely hits that were elusive earlier have shown up here in the 7th with 3 runs and still nobody out.
Well, what's happened is Reiser's got ahead of the hitters, and he's getting too much of the plate because these hitters from UCF, they're fantastic hitters, and he's getting too much of the plate. And you saw previously Williamson went down and got a fairly good pitch, but rang out to center, and Prevesk did the same thing. Got down in the count, and just after he talked to the coach there, coach settled him down and drove it right out the center.
Now it's Bodecker, a single, a strikeout, and a flyout today. The 5-2 lead has been erased. Strike one, a foul ball. Prevesk leading off at first. Big inning for the Knights. Ball one. Reiser had given up 3 runs all season, and he's getting tagged for 3 in the 7th inning. Fires a strike. 1-2.
And he's getting ahead of these hitters. You know, he's getting ahead with 2 strikes and no balls or 1 ball. And you just got to tip your hat to these hitters for UCF. They're going down and getting some tough pitches and clutch hits.
Here's a 1-2. Got him. Foul tip into the glove. A strikeout for Reiser, and there's 1 down.
And you look at this location. outside corner, fastball, and you can see that Bodecker just swings underneath it.
Brayton Calise to the plate, 0 for 3 today. A trio of groundouts. Ball 1. Ball 2. Calise hitting .328 as the 6 hitter. Ball 3 as they check it down the line. And Risers fighting to stay in the game now. In for a strike. 3-1. Calise taking all the way. Ball 4. And for the first time today, Calise is on the bags as Prevesk trots over to second. Still just the 1 out. And Andrew Sundin is going to pinch hit. Sundin is hitting .273. A sophomore out of Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. Nope. Sundin's a senior out of Lakeland, Florida.
He's a big guy. He's 6'6", 230 pounds.
Senior, first team all AAC back in 2023 before UCF joined the Big 12. And Risers having a hard time finding the zone. Ball 1. Parker Goff's going to go out for a visit. The game's tied at 5, but you get the feeling that UCF is just on the edge of breaking this thing open.
Well, Gubler had their number, and you know, they scored 2 in the first, and then they were scoreless for about the first 5 or 6 innings there. Now, with Reiser coming in there, he's not throwing strikes, and Stone Cushing, their saver, is in the dugout in case. But Sundin here is collegiate baseball freshman, All-American in 2022, a great player.
This one is hit a mile high into left field. Anderson moves over, makes the catch. The runners are moving up. Prevesk heads to third. Calise turns around, goes back to first. There's 2 down. And Sundin moves the go-ahead run to 90 feet away. Luke Anderson out there in left. And Antonio Jimenez will come to the plate. And there you see Prevesk sliding into third. And now Goff has to be careful. A passed ball will score Prevesk from third base. Jimenez with a fly out, a ground out, and a walk so far today. Rising comes in with a strike.
Well, we'll see if FSU sends the runner here. Trying to get him to second base, trying to draw a throw and try to get the runner home from third. We'll see if they put that little play on.
Strike 2. Jimenez, a sophomore out of Davie, Florida. Here in Provo, Utah tonight. Count 0-2. Pops it up in the infield. Vest runs over, makes the catch. But the Knights strike for 3. It's a brand new game as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. 5.
Up 1 hit, no runs, and struck out 3.
A lefty against a lefty here. In with a strike. What Castellano has not been able to experience yet is pitching in the cold this season. So as effective as he has been, today just a little bit different. And it's 1-1. See that wind, you hear that wind in our microphones. It's picking up here in Provo. Inside, 2-1. More storms coming tomorrow and Saturday. We'll just see what each day brings us. We're set to be on the air tomorrow at 5 Eastern time. 2-1. 3-1. Painter has been on base all 3 at bats so far today. A couple of walks and a double. In for a strike. Painter taking all the way on that one. Now it's full count. Strike 3. Good looking pitch by Castellano, and Painter watches it go by. 1 down.
That was an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, and it was pretty much right down the middle. You see this location, right down the middle. That's one you got to be swinging on.
Rain starting to fall. The wind picking up as Robinson moves to the right side, a switch hitter. And he looks at ball 1. There you see the elements that these combatants are fighting through. 1-1. Easton Jones on deck. The wind is going to the left. 2-0. Check that. And the rain is going from right field to left field as well. Three and 0. Now Castellano will have to fight back again. In for a strike. 3-1. Robinson just missed a home run off the right field wall when he was swinging from the left side. He has home run power to the right. 3-1. There's 4-1. And a 1-out walk here in the 7th.
Well, you can see Castellano slamming that Rosenbach down. He's trying to keep the ball dry. And it's weather and the wind, and it's something you probably haven't pitched in yet this year.
Easton Jones is due for the Cougars. 3 strikeouts today. There you see the rain coming down. A strike. Oh, and 1 to count. Throw back to first. Robinson in safely.
Well, you get to hear the fans talking out here. That one fan said that hasn't been a strike all day. So the fans are still out there with their umbrellas up.
Strike 2. Shout out to our crew here, giving you these pictures in these conditions. There are all-stars scattered around the ballpark. The 0-2 for Jones. Throw back to first.
Ryder Robinson has not attempted a stolen base yet this year.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Well, that time Castellano turned it up a little bit there. It was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and Jones was late on his swing. Up in the zone, beautiful pitch on an 0-2 pitch.
Luke Anderson comes to the plate with 2 down here in the 7th. Robinson over at first, representing the go-ahead run. They throw back to first. And Bodeker digs out the throw. Ball 1. The first batter to get one up into the jet stream, heading to left center. Be our first home run of the day. The wind is just ready to help anything. Here's the 1-0. 2-0.
Well, Anderson has great power to left field. We saw him against Stetson. He thought he had a home run. He hit it off the top of the wall. He was kind of watching it out there, jogging. Then he takes off to second, and they throw him out at second. But he's got great power to left field.
3-0. Cooper Vest is on deck for BYU. Crowd making noise, just trying to stay warm. Here's a 3-0, and I'll throw back to first. Robinson getting a lot of attention over there.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Luke has the green light here at 3-0.
Here it is. Ball 4. And the go-ahead run moves over to second base with Cooper Vest coming to the plate. Vest is 0 for 3 so far today. But he has delivered some big hits here in the early part of the season. And our pitching coach visit Drew Thomas heading out to talk with Castellano and the defense in a 5-5 game in the bottom of the 7th. This is the epitome of spring baseball here in the Rockies. Just 2 nights ago, this group was huddled up 75 degrees in Orlando, and they put the hurt on Miami. And more activity down in the bullpen. This is a very good bullpen that's been solid so far in the first month of the season. Alex Galvan getting loose. But here's the matchup of the moment. The lefty Castellano, all Big 12, and Cooper Vest, who was the Big 12 Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago. 2 out, 2 on. Ball 1. Well, on the left, Nature was ready to take it out.
Boy, you had that call, Dave. You're right on there. And that ball, it was hit hard, but it just kept carrying and carrying. A big 3-run home run for Cooper Vest.
Now it's Bryker Herdsman. And he looks at ball 1 as Castellano gives up a 3-run home run here in the 7th. To the opposite field to Cooper Vest. From the right-handed box over the left field wall. And now Herdsman is into the screen, 1-1. Prevesk was running over there like he was going to make a play right at the track. And then at the last minute, he just looked up and couldn't believe that that ball was just
enough
out of there. 1-2 to Herdsman.
UCF had 3 runs in the top of this inning, and BYU was answered. and matched it with 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Ball 2. Herdsman also more than capable of getting one up to left field. Let's see where that one goes. Vest facing one of the best lefties in the Big 12 and hitting a 3-run home run. They check it down the line for a strike, and that will be it for Herdsman. That's it for the 7th inning. But Cooper Vest with one swing of the bat, a 3-run home run to left field. It's 8-5. The 8th inning is coming up on ESPN+.
Easier said than done.
Dylan King, a double and a ground out and a fly out. That's been his day. Delray Beach, Florida, junior. And Cushing throws ball 1. Stone with an ERA of 9, so he's been hit. And he's given up 6 runs on 7 hits, 3 of them doubles so far this season. He's got 3 strikeouts and 6 walks. He's wild on that pitch, and it hits King and sends him down to first.
Well, one thing that Cushing has, he has a tremendous slider. He's very tough on right-handed hitters. That ball really has a sharp break on it. And there you can see he's trying to get his footing. It's the mound out there is good. It's in good shape. And even in this the rain here, it's going to be in good shape. But there he hits the first batter and comes up to the leadoff batters for UCF.
Here's Ross. Inside for ball 1. Ross with a single his last time up. A couple of ground outs and a fly out today. BYU leads it by 3 here in the 8th. And there's a strike for Cushing, 1-1. BYU provided base runners for the Knights in the top of the 7th, and they showed what they could do with it. Already King's on board, having been hit by a pitch. 2-1 to Ross. Pops him up foul. Jones runs over, watches it go out of play.
Well, we'll see if Cushing comes up with that slider here. He's got such a tremendous slider. We haven't seen it.
Two and two the count. Ball 3. Ross with 27 hits on the season. That's best on the roster for UCF. And this is a very important pitch for Cushing.
Well, great patience for Ross, working to count the full.
Umpire holds up play, says, wait for my signal. Three and two. UCF is not happy about it. They're in the middle of a red-hot inning. Still nobody out. The Cougars are going to go into their dugout. And the umpires are going to leave the field as well. The only thing we can think of is there must be lightning in the area. And so we're going to be in a lightning delay for 30 minutes. And it comes with an 8-8 score. UCF has put 3 on the board as they light up Stone Cushing. And this after Cooper Vest took Castellano. So the bats are taking out the best pitchers and knocking it out of the park. And so when we resume, it'll be 8-8. The count will be 1-1. So we'll take a break and be back after this. Another wild weather day here in the Rocky Mountains on ESPN+.